Latinos in the US spend $22 billion on the beauty industry every year, making up nearly 20% of all spending. And spending on average 24% more than other consumers.
We have a plate here full of e.l.f., Milani, Essence.
And yet, in the last 5 years alone, at least 46 Latino-owned beauty companies in the US have closed. That number may shock you and me, but it doesn't surprise Priscilla Jimenian.
Unfortunately, no. I'm not shocked. Primarily because I'm one of them.
In 2025, Priscilla Jimenian made the decision to close Skinergy Beauty, a once high-flying brand available on Nordstrom.com and Walmart, and that was even featured on Vogue.
It was difficult for me as a person to accept that my business failed.
So why are so many Latino-owned beauty brands closing up shop now? And why are some considering doing so? And according to one beauty industry veteran, what's one simple solution that could help? My name is Fernando, and this story is about the hyphen between Latinos and the beauty industry. The year is 2016, and makeup YouTuber Jaclyn Hill is teaching her millions of viewers how to do a chocolate cranberry smoky eye. James Charles just became the first male CoverGirl ambassador, and beauty influencer Manny MUA is giving a rundown of the best products of 2016.
I'm so excited to be filming this. You guys have no idea.
2016, I feel, was like a really special beauty moment where it was like a beauty influencer peak day. And it was just like a really exciting time.
Beauty was having a moment that year, and Latina beauty specifically was starting to have a moment, with MAC Cosmetics' launch of its first ever Selena Quintanilla collection.
MAC Cosmetics came out with a limited edition collection inspired by the late star. Online sales started Monday, quickly sold out.
Selena, big influence in the Mexican community. I'm so happy. Like, honestly, this is like the most exciting video I have ever done, probably.
It was such an exciting time for Leslie Valdivia that she and her friend Joanna Rosario, neither of whom had ever worked in beauty, decided to launch their own makeup company centered on celebrating Latina beauty.
It's like, why can't we get these moments on a regular basis, right? And like, why does it have to be one-offs?
They launched Vive Cosmetics in 2017 while working full-time jobs. Within 3 years, the brand grew to 45,000 followers on social media and was featured by O Magazine, Teen Vogue, and CNBC, all with an almost $0 marketing budget. But their best year was without a doubt in 2021.
We're talking about like kind of post-COVID, and like things are like kind of going back to normality. We launched, it was our See Me With This campaign. It was our red lipstick collection. We literally sold out like 24 hours of launch.
Which is what made this video the founders posted on Instagram this year all the more surprising to Vive Cosmetics customers.
This year, Vive turns 9. And to be completely honest with y'all, we don't know if it will make it to year 10. So in the spirit of being completely transparent, honest, and just being vulnerable in a way that we've never done before, this behind me is a graph of our business journey. This is a graph of our sales, and you can see clearly the years we've had momentum, and you can also see really clearly how our sales have been declining since 2022, year after year.
Okay, so it's no secret that I spend a lot of time online for my In The Hyphen videos, doing a lot of research and learning new things to share with you. But I also like learning for fun, and that's where the sponsor of this video comes in. Craftsy. Craftsy is an online community where members can find over 2,000 classes for makers of all skill levels on things like knitting, cooking, sewing, and so many more topics. So I grew up spoiled with my parents cooking Mexican food for me all the time. And now that I'm an adult, I'm trying to master those recipes while learning new ones from different cuisines. What's cool is that Craftsy is always creating new classes, so you'll always find something new to learn. The classes are taught by experts and walk you through each technique with step-by-step instructions. Oh, and I found this really cool. They also have live streaming tutorials where expert instructors share their tips and answer questions in real time. And here's the best part, the first 1,000 people watching this video to use the link in the description or the QR code on screen will get a full year of premium membership for only $1.49. The offer is valid for new members only. All right, thanks again to Craftsy. Now back to the video.
But 2023 to now, it's probably been like a 20 to 30% revenue loss since then.
This trend line is one Priscilla Jimenian knows well.
at the very end of my business, there was a 70% dip in sales. That is a huge difference. I got to a point where I just said, it's my time to go.
In 2019, Priscilla launched Skinergy to treat dark spots and hyperpigmentation without any harsh chemicals, specializing on dark skin colors.
When we started to wear masks so often, something called maskne happened to a lot of people. They were dealing with a lot of hyperpigmentation in this area because your skin just wasn't breathing. And I think as a society, we were paying attention to our self-care needs at that time. You know, we didn't have anything else to do but to do our hair more and do our skincare more. And that's kind of how I felt that industry grew, because there was just, we were on TikTok 24/7.
She launched the brand while working a full-time job in real estate.
I spent all of my savings creating the initial things that a company and a brand needs, which is like the first hero product and the website. I might have put in maybe $15,000, $20,000 of my own cash into that.
The investment paid off. By 2020, Skinergy was getting a lot of attention. Her story as a Dominican New Yorker filling a space in the market resonated strongly with people. The brand made it on interruption.com and sold out the 3 times it was featured on Univision.
The fact that my mother saw me on her favorite TV show, Despierta America, was the most beautiful experience for a first-generation American. I have immigrant parents. I didn't know how to accept that this was the next chapter for me, because I felt like I did something for my family and I did something for my community. And I'm like, hey, I'm a girl from the South Bronx.
Priscilla attributes her success to timing. 2020 was a boom for beauty businesses online. While in-store sales torpedoed with the pandemic, e-commerce sales doubled for some brands as more people spent time at home and had more time to focus on self-care, according to a report from McKinsey.
Sales for some eye products are up 96%.
2020 also brought a laser focus on minority entrepreneurs. The killing of George Floyd in 2020 ushered a wave of investment in communities of color, with corporations pledging $200 billion in various racial equity initiatives. Latinos benefited from that.
I was at the right place at the right time. There was a bit of more of a focus on small businesses and minority-owned businesses. I started to get a lot more press. And so that in turn brought me a lot more customers, right? And a lot of accolades.
And then came 2025. In August of that year, Priscilla made this post announcing Skinergy Beauty's closure, describing keeping the company running as, quote, the hardest, most draining fight of my life. I've gone into debt I'll now have to pay off for years, end quote. The same grants and programs that had once propelled the business dried up.
The amounts of grants that are available to us are very limited compared to how it was during the pandemic and during Black Lives Matter. It was a very limited and short time, and I think it was more for clout and for, allyship. And it worked for a lot of these companies and banks to say that they were, yes, we are going to help these small businesses, these minority-owned businesses, because they deserve it. And I'm not shocked that it's just dwindling now.
But there's also been a palpable sea change in the beauty industry. What was once a white-hot industry may now be cooling, according to McKinsey.
The sector is as crowded as it is competitive. Estee Lauder's stock tumbled nearly 50% in 2024, 42% in 2023, and 33% in 2022.
Geopolitical and economic uncertainty, market saturation, and evolving consumer preferences threaten the 7% annual growth we saw from 2022 to 2024, according to McKinsey's State of Beauty 2025 report.
I had year-over-year growth. And then I saw a major dip and I couldn't figure out what it was. I didn't stop showing up on social media. My mission didn't change. And I really do think that marketing and spending on marketing is what's keeping people up there. But at what, until when? What is the point if you have so much competition? you're spending so much to get just one consumer again.
See, the thing with indie beauty brands is that they're not just competing with other indie beauty brands. They're up against well-financed brands, some of them celebrity brands.
People that have an unlimited amount of money that they can put into marketing and advertising to get their brands into these retailers that can ultimately change the trajectory of a company like mine. When you have celebrity brands taking up shelf space in retail, there's no space for people like me. Not if I am backed by VC, not if I am fundraising, crowdfunding. There is absolutely no way.
Even the unicorn indie success stories in the industry have faced surprising upheavals. Ami Collet took the beauty world by storm with its products for melanated skin. The independent beauty brand created a viral lip oil that was adored by celebrities, and it even made it into Sephora stores around the country. But 4 years after launching and securing $3 million in venture capital funding, its founder announced the company was closing. She cited unsustainable economic conditions as the driving factor for the brand's closure. Beauty companies, big and small, have seen an increase in production costs due to an increase in tariffs on imported goods. But even Vive Cosmetics, which makes all its products in the US, has seen tremendous price increases since 2023.
So we encountered a huge problem. We got back the cost of the formulas and the price went up 65%.
We can't have as many shades available as we used to have because now we have to, calculate for this additional cost where we could have used that money to have other products or have other shades.
If you've made it this far into the video, I hope that means you find my reporting useful. If you want more of it, but don't necessarily want to watch videos, you should consider subscribing to my free newsletter for In The Hyphen. It's delivered bi-weekly, and you'll get original reporting you won't always see on my YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram. The link to subscribe is in the description. All right, back to the video. Emily Perez, who spent the last 10 years working in the beauty industry at brands like L'Oreal, launched Latinas in Beauty in 2020, a nonprofit to support Latino beauty entrepreneurs.
To unite us, because I knew we were a powerful force within this industry, but we didn't have that one destination, that place that we could all go to and support one another.
Latinas in Beauty is the organization that has been tracking Latino-owned beauty companies in the United States. Its records indicate there are about 270 Latino-owned beauty businesses in the United States, with about 46 closing in the last 5 years. Emily spends a lot of time talking to founders, and she attributes the closures of Latina beauty brands to a few things.
One thing that will continue to drive Latinas in Beauty really is that visibility and discoverability. What I tend to hear when we share these brands within our channels is like, I didn't know all these brands existed, right? Like when you're walking into a retailer or you're looking at Amazon, like there's a lot of brands in this industry. So to be able to be intentional and know who are Latino-owned is just something that is not yet readily at our fingertips.
I want to do a brief exercise here. Comment below which Latino-owned beauty brands you know of. I imagine one specific celebrity brand will come up. Let's see if I'm wrong. But if you can't think of one, you're not alone. Latinas in Beauty plans to launch a shoppable directory to help with that. But there's also a bigger problem, and that's capital. Latina founders receive just 1.5% of total US venture capital funding. Emily thinks there's one thing that can help make up for part of that lack of investment. And that something lies in a statistic I shared at the beginning of this video.
Being that we're spending 22 to 23 billion, diverting all of that funds to Latino is unrealistic, right? But if we just took a small piece of that pie, 10%, and we're intentional with where we were shopping and where we were putting those funds towards, that would make a significant difference for the 275 brands that are Latino-owned.
In other words, if Latino consumers took 10% of the money they spend on beauty and spent it on a Latino beauty brand, Hispanic and Latino consumers could conceivably pump $2.2 billion a year into Latino-owned beauty brands.
Not only because they're Latino-owned or they're Latina-owned, but because they're really good products. They are beautiful products, they are efficacious, and in my opinion, deserve a space in your beauty routine.
Now, I'm curious, why do you think so many Latino-owned beauty companies have closed recently? Is it lack of investment, lack of brand awareness, too much competition? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, you might also like this other video I made.